Have you ever thought about your career not as some path you're supposed to follow, but more like a structure that you actually build piece by piece? Well, today we're going to go way beyond just being happy at work. We're diving into the real science of job satisfaction and how you can actually, architect a career that genuinely matters to you. I mean, it's the big question, isn't it? The one we all ask ourselves, whether we're just starting out or we're 20 years in. Is it the money, the title, the free snacks? The answer, as you might guess, is a lot more complex and honestly, way more interesting than you'd think. Okay, let's get into it. So, first things first, let's get our definition straight. Job satisfaction isn't just a mood, it's not some fluffy feeling, it's a strategic asset. Seriously, for a company, it can predict pretty much everything, from how innovative people are to whether they'll stick around. And for you personally, it's the absolute bedrock of sustainable performance and, your own well-being. It's really this fascinating spot where economics and psychology meet. All right, so think about it. Every strong building needs a solid foundation. And in our architecture of fulfillment, these next few things are the absolute non-negotiables. These are the elements that give you the stability and the safety you need before you can even think about building anything else on top. Let's start with the most obvious one, the pay. But it's so much more than just a number on a paycheck. Fair compensation is really about economic dignity. It's what takes care of our basic needs for stability. And only when those needs are met can our brains really switch gears and focus on higher level stuff, like creativity and really engaging with our work. So beyond money, you've got this crucial idea of psychological safety. Think about it. If you're in a toxic environment, your brain is just wasting all its energy on what you could call defensive thinking. Navigating office politics, trying to avoid blame. A healthy workplace, on the other hand, frees up all that mental space so you can use it for what it's for, collaborating, innovating, and actually doing good work. And the final piece of our foundation is balance. Now, this isn't about working less. It's about working smarter. A sustainable balance is what prevents burnout. It preserves your energy for the long haul. A career is a marathon, right? Not a sprint. And this balance is what keeps you in the race. Okay, so our foundation is secure. It's solid. Now it's time to build the pillars. These are the things that support the whole structure, day in and day out. This is all about what actually drives us forward. So motivation really comes in two main flavors. You've got your extrinsic rewards, that's stuff like your salary, bonuses, your title. They're the external structure, and they're definitely important. But they're not enough on their own. The real magic happens with intrinsic rewards. That's your internal fuel. It's that feeling of autonomy, of getting better at something you care about, of just satisfying your own curiosity. A truly great job has a powerful mix of both. And these are the pillars that really hold up our daily engagement. Development means you see a future, a path forward, not just a dead end. Teamwork connects you to something bigger than just yourself. And check this out. There's a really key difference here between recognition and appreciation. Recognition is that formal validation, like an award or a promotion. Appreciation? That's the simple human thank you that builds commitment on a much deeper emotional level. All right, we've built the foundation, we've put up the pillars, and now we get to the very top of our structure, the apex. This is the point where work stops being just a job and starts connecting with our deepest sense of who we are. This quote really gets to the heart of the why. Why do we do what we do? Purpose is that magic ingredient that turns all your effort into something significant. It's the difference between your work being just a list of tasks and it being a meaningful contribution. It makes what you do feel important, not just required. And that feeling leads directly to true fulfillment. You can think of it as life consonance. It's a state where your work is in perfect harmony with who you are and who you want to become. It's that amazing point where your job stops being a simple transaction of your time for money, and it becomes a real, authentic expression of your identity. So the final piece at the very top here is values alignment. I mean, if your personal values clash with your company's values, it creates this ethical dissonance. It's like a constant low-level hum of stress that just drains your energy. But when those values line up, man, you get this powerful harmony between who you are and what you do every day. So there we have it, the whole architecture, a stable foundation, strong pillars, and a meaningful apex. But how do you actually apply all this to your own life? Let's talk about one last, really powerful tool you can use for some self-reflection. It's called zero-based thinking, and you can think of it like a cognitive reset button. It forces you to just ignore all the history, all the time you've invested, all the external pressures. It just cuts through all that noise to ask one brutally honest, but incredibly clarifying question. So, I'll leave you with this. Knowing everything you now know about this architecture of fulfillment, about needing stability and motivation and purpose, if you were out there today applying for jobs from scratch, would you choose the one you have right now? Your honest answer to that question might just be the blueprint for your next big move.